Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
First fish with a spear.
Alright guys, today we're going to be making a fish spear out of an old bow fishing arrow and some other materials that you can see on the screen right now. This arrow is about 2.5 years old. It reached the end of its lifetime because towards the knock and the stop it started to splinter. So I cut off the splintered portion, and instead of throwing the arrow away, I decided to turn it into something useful. The first step in making this fish spear is to cut out a hole in one of our end caps. We're going to center it as best we can and then slide it on our arrow before we make our duct tape spacer. And to do that, we're just going to wrap duct tape as neatly as we can around the back portion of the arrow until we reach the same diameter as our pipe. Then we're going to mark how far we want the arrow to extend into the pipe and where the very back of the arrow will be once it's in the pipe. Once that's done, we're going to grease up the inside of our pipe with some 4-in-1 oil. It doesn't need to be 4-in-1, any type of lubricant will work. And then we're going to slide that spacer into our pipe. And the purpose of that spacer is to provide support in the back of the arrow so that way it's not wiggling around freely. To keep the arrow from sliding in and out of the pipe, we're going to drill a hole from the top of our pipe down through the arrow and out the other side. And this is really tricky. You just got to take your time and make sure you're drilling straight through the middle of the pipe. That way you get a nice solid hole in the middle of your arrow. Then I attempted to peen over the straight end of our nail, and that's going to hopefully lock the arrow in place. However, I'm not really good at this, so I hit the nail a bunch of times until it flattened out a little. And just in case my peening wasn't effective, I wrapped it in duct tape after the fact. Now it's time to start sealing up our spear. I'm going to mix together some epoxy and then spread it on our front end cap, lock it in place, and I'm also going to put some epoxy where the arrow meets the end cap. My goal here was to try to make this spear or the pipe completely airtight. That way water wouldn't get in there, and if for some reason my main flotation device fell off, I would still have some sort of chance of recovering my spear. And here's how we're going to keep this thing afloat. I bought an orange pool noodle, hoping that the orange would help the spear stick out if I lost it. I'm just going to slide about a 1-foot portion onto our pipe, toss the end cap on there with some super glue because I got lazy and didn't want to mix up epoxy. And off camera, I duct taped that pool noodle in place, that way it wasn't sliding around. And that also minimizes the chance of the pool noodle slipping off. And the last step is to seal up that pinhole. Wrapping it in duct tape not only helps secure the pin in place so it won't fall out, but it also makes sure that no water gets in there. Here's what our finished spear looks like. Pretty simple. It only took about an hour to make, and it floats beautifully. The front end stayed buoyant throughout the day, so that made me very confident that it was airtight. And it's a lot different than bow fishing. I learned that today. Took a lot of misses. I did get one fish. That's all that counts. Unfortunately, he hopped off before I could secure him, but I got it on camera, so you guys will at least be able to see that. One thing I'll do before I take this spear out next is take some sandpaper or a file and rough up the balance point, which is where you throw the spear from, because it got kind of difficult to throw wet, smooth pipe all day. So that's just something to think about. Here's a clip where I got the fish. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
First fish with a spear.
Oh man.